Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to share my low carb travel tips, how to keep keto while traveling. A little while ago I went to Japan for a couple of weeks and I traveled around and I kept mostly low carb keto, and I thought today I would share all of my thoughts, how I kept it while traveling. I wasn't staying in a place that had a kitchen, so I was in hotels all of the time, and you may have travels coming up, or for when you're planning travels down the track, make sure that you pin or bookmark this video so that you can come back to it for heaps of ideas and share it with your friends and family if they are going away on travels, and if they also follow the low carb keto diet. And make sure if you're not already subscribed to my channel, you hit that subscribe button to join the Yummy Inspirations community, and leave a like and a comment. I always appreciate your interaction. I look forward to communicating with you in the comments, and also I will have a blog post, so check the link down below for the blog post with all of these ideas and more, because when I film videos like this I kind of just talk ideas and talk through everything, and then I go and write a blog post putting everything together in a nice neat package. So if you want that, check down below. And yeah, this top I'm wearing, I don't think I've worn it on, I haven't worn, I think this is the first time I'm wearing it. I actually bought this top to wear for Japan and it didn't quite fit me, and now it's too big on me, so I'm wearing it today because I'm talking about Japan, so I'm wearing my top for Japan. So yeah, okay. So keeping low carb keto while traveling, it's definitely doable, and it's important to make a decision before you go into it of, are you going to keep it strictly, or are you going to do kind of the 80-20 rule and stick to it most of the time, but just experience the culture and the foods that you're in, which is what I decided to do. So while I didn't keep keto low carb 100%, it's definitely possible, but I was in Japan, so I definitely wanted to experience the culture and the foods of Japan while I was there, because who knows if or when I'll go back in my lifetime. I'd like to think I'll go back, but who knows. So before I even went away, I went off of strict keto, took myself off of ketosis so I could just have higher carb foods. But what I found was 80 to 90% of the time I kept low carb keto, and then the rest I didn't. And I went in with that plan and there were no regrets, and I came back and actually I weighed around the same, or I put on a lost point to 200 grams, which was a tiny amount. So I was very happy with that considering the experience that I had. So what are my tips? Well, I'm going to go through all the meals of the day and what I did, and you'll hopefully pick up some tips and some information from that. So let's start with breakfast, the most important meal of the day, and I tried as best to start my day off as keto and low carb as possible to set myself up for anything that happened through the rest of the day. If my breakfast was as low carb as possible, then I was good. And through Japan, 2 out of 3 of the hotels I stayed at actually had buffet breakfasts, which does make it easy. So when I had the buffet breakfast in Japan, it's really amazing because they serve heaps of vegetables with breakfast. So I was able to have half of my plate loaded full with vegetables, and then I filled it up with that different egg options. They had different meat options. Some had bacon or sausages, whatever they had at the breakfast option as the breakfast option I would take, and I just fill my plate, and I managed to find heaps of keto options. So wherever you're going, if you've got a buffet breakfast included, obviously stay away from the pastries and cereals and anything that's just carb loaded, and go eggs. A lot of buffets these days will custom make you eggs. Get yourself some scrambled eggs or fried egg and just ask them to cook it in butter and put some extra butter, and grab some butter sticks as well to enjoy with your meals. Go bacon, sausages, depends how strict you want to be. If you want to go and check how many carbs are in your sausages, if they would know that information, but otherwise just, you know, you're on holiday. If you're like me and you just are going to aim for as low as possible, just go for, I feel having a sausage tends to be better than having a breakfast croissant. So that is my personal opinion, but to each their own. So breakfast buffet, it was awesome. That's what I did there. When I was in Tokyo, and actually I went on to Singapore as well, there were no breakfast. I didn't have breakfast included in my hotel, so I went out and about looking for breakfast. In Japan, I have to be honest, it was a lot more difficult because they didn't have a lot of cafes open that I could find. They do exist, and I looked online to try and find, but it was nowhere near where we were. So breakfast, if you're in somewhere that has breakfast cafes, go and grab yourself a breakfast and just ditch the bread, so you can get your bacon, your eggs, your sausages, mushrooms, tomatoes, all veg, eggs, meat. Go for all of that. That's really, really awesome. I didn't have those options, so what I did was I went to convenience stores. There are convenience stores everywhere in Japan, and I found the lowest carb yogurt I could find. I grabbed some pieces of cheese, some salami, and a bit of strawberries, and I just made up my own little breakfast hamper, and I was happy with that for starting off my day. So those are the breakfast ideas that I had. And moving on, for lunches, I found my staple lunch while I was out and about was just salads. Convenience stores had salads. Wherever you go, you can have salads and just have them without croutons or any carby bits. Chicken salad, any veggies. I even bought avocado separately and added avocados just to a green salad. You can always find some oil out and about, or add some a handful of nuts to bring up the fat and protein content. But again, while I was out and about, sometimes I did have full carb lunches, but that's not what we're talking about today. It's how to keep low carb and how to incorporate low carb. So it's definitely possible. Also, another go-to were burgers. I went for loads of bunless burgers. There were burger chains all around. You could go to McDonald's if you want to. Some people do, and just get a bunless burger, but I found there were lots of other options. There were lots of other Japanese restaurants, Japanese chains, and just got a burger without a bun. They put it in a little bowl in a lettuce cup, and it was really nice. Also in major cities there's markets, and in those you'll find all kinds of beautiful charcoal grilled meat on sticks and fresh tuna and fresh salmon, and you can really eat your way around a market with loads of low carb keto friendly options. And snacks, while I was out and about, convenience stores. Japan, you just go to the convenience store. I just grabbed some strawberries or yogurt, just similar to breakfast. They have lots of little packages of little pieces of salami and bits of cheeses. I went for those, and those were just my perfect go-to. And then dinner, again, yes, convenience store, but also food halls. I would wander around all the amazing Japanese food halls, and I found loads of meat platters, meat packages, and with different kinds of vegetables. It's really meat and veg. And also going to supermarkets, finding ready-made salads, and restaurants as well. There's loads of options for restaurants. Go for a steak, or as I said, a bunless burger, fish, seafood. There's so many different options while you're out and about. That was kind of my main meals, and I also took loads from home. I shared before I went away all of my low carb travel essentials. I'll leave a link to that down below. But I took loads of snack options, and also I took my favorite hot chocolate from home, and then I went to a convenience store and got some butter, and so I made hot chocolates. You could do the same. I just don't drink coffee, so you could do the same. Take your favorite coffee from home, and there's always a kettle to boil up some water, and you can get butter wherever you are, so you can make that. And that really helped round out my days. And I had nuts and some other bits and pieces that I took from home. I shared it in that previous video. But yeah, it's definitely possible to keep low carb keto while you're traveling. You just have to hop online and just search for menu options for restaurants. Find popular restaurants in the area that you go to, have a look at the menu before, and just see if they're low carb keto options, and then you can just enjoy as well. And as I said, make a decision before you go. If you want to keep mostly low carb keto, and if you go to a restaurant and there's a menu item and you've never seen it before, and you're happy to wear it with the rest of your day, then just make a decision and go for it. And I was very happy with coming back. I was happy if I stayed the same. Didn't really bother me if I had put on a little bit over the whole period of being away. I just didn't want to feel awful, which is why I took myself off ketosis. And what I actually found while I was traveling, that if I did eat anything that was off plan, straight away afterwards I would just walk. So I would plan my non-keto meals around my day when I'm going to be walking. So I may have had a little bit of this amazing Japanese 7-8 layered ice cream, and then walked for about an hour. Not for me, I did that because then I found that the sugar was straight away used, and I didn't have any sugar highs, and I didn't feel awful. I felt great. So take that in consideration. Try not to eat a massive huge meal and then go straight to sleep. It's nice to kind of walk and do some movement afterwards, because personally I found I felt better doing that. So there you go. Those are my tricks and tips for keeping keto while traveling, low carb travel tips. Check down below for a link to the blog post, which will have loads more information in a more coherent way than in the video. And leave a comment with your low carb travel tips. I'd love to hear them. If you've got more to add, leave them down below. And make sure that you leave a like and subscribe for more inspiration. And we'll see you again soon. Bye.